James,
Mitch.
why do you look so funny?
'Cause I'm a really funny guy, Mitch.
Oh, I guess you're right. I guess you are a funny guy. Let's get started. Game Front!
Update!
Game Front!
Update!
Game Front update. Alright, let's get rid of that. Hey guys, Game Front update time. We're trying a new format for Game Front update. We're using Google Hangouts instead of the usual Skype call. So we're gonna be flipping back and forth between our two faces like this. Hi James.
Hello. So
Hi,
I
Mitch.
won't know when you're looking at me because I'm looking at you 100% of the time.
Yeah. So you're just gonna have to trust me, James.
Okay, well, promise me that if you don't cut to me when I'm doing anything.
What are you
Oh,
doing?
gosh!
There are people trying to watch the Game Front update, and you're gonna
I-
do something like that?
I didn't realize anybody was watching at the time.
You are gross. So, what we wanted to do for this Game Front update, it's going to be a quick one because, James, if I understand correctly, you have to go soon, right?
Yeah, I'm coaching an improv team, and additionally, we need to know how this Google Hangout works. We don't know for sure. We're trying to test things out, see what the best way to make a Gamefront update is.
Right. So I figured a good way to quickly knock out a Game Front update is to talk about the two games that we've been playing. We both ended up beating the games that we've been working on recently. You've been working on Saints Row 4. I've been working on Splinter Cell Blacklist. So let's start, James. What do you think about Saints Row 4 having beaten the single-player campaign?
I really enjoyed it. To me, it's a wonderful game. I suggest everyone that's over the required age purchase it. And if you're slightly underage, like a year or two, try to figure a way to get it. If you're too young, don't get it. It's gonna take your innocence. Don't be such a skeptic. Get that dirty face away. What I'm trying to say is that it's a really good game. It's adult humor orientated and it's a lot of fun. At first I was like, this is better than Grand Theft Auto 5 could ever be. And as I progressed further and further through the game, I realized it's really good in its own sense and I really enjoy what I'm playing. But it has traveled so far away from the Grand Theft Auto gameplay style that I think that they're really not very comparable. And I am very much looking forward to Grand Theft Auto 5. This almost whetted my appetite for it.
Yeah, you know, the thing that I would like to say is that the best thing that could have possibly happened, I think, for both of those series is how much Saints Row has deviated from being the Grand Theft Auto clone. I think it's great for Saints Row because let's face facts. There is no way that Saints Row would have succeeded as much as it has if it tried to be the same as Grand Theft Auto. They don't have the same resources as Rockstar. Did I say resources?
You did.
Okay.
And that's kind of true. They don't. I mean, maybe they do. But I think that it's a good thing to deviate because they have a really good thing going that's different than Rockstar has with Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto still has plenty of humor, adult-orientated, but that's not their focus. Their focus is on like a pretty deep story, I think. I might be wrong. The Saints Row story is funny, it's comical, it's enjoyable from beginning to end, but it doesn't give you that same feeling as when you were playing as Nico Bellic and you're an immigrant trying to be a good guy but living a bad guy's life. I think that that's a really cool, dark storyline that also has some humor in it. Saints Row is absolutely absurd, and it follows that storyline, and I enjoyed it. Things I didn't like about Saints Row 4 was I didn't like all of the data clusters. It became really boring for me to be picking all those data clusters up. It really slowed the gameplay down. I mean, you didn't have to get it if you didn't want to be powerful, but if you wanted to unlock all of your super skills, you had to jump from rooftop to rooftop and basically cover almost every square inch of the map.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought was really cool from what I tend from time to time to check out your walkthroughs. One of the things I thought was cool from what I saw from it was when the game decided to completely flip the script and go into like a completely different style of game. Like there was a time where it was a 2D beat 'em up and it was like way retro style where the voice acting was really bad and really
it was great.
and the quality of it was terrible. What did you think of that stuff?
I mean, I loved it. It was a nice break. That particular one, I liked it first. I thought that it was a little too long. I thought that it could have been. They probably could have chopped off one level of it because I didn't want to. It wasn't that long, but
The joke kind of got old.
It got a little old. I thought it was much more entertaining at the beginning with the funny, terrible voice acting and the 2D fighting, but by the time I was done, I was already ready to be done with the 2D fighter. And but the breaks that they take, like there's a very Metal Gear Solid area, like straight up reference, like you're hiding in boxes, people have exclamation marks over their head. That stuff was really cool, and it does break up the gameplay. It kind of reminded me of the mechanics of that Simpsons game that came out on PS3 and Xbox 360, where you jump into the different video game worlds. Did you play that Simpsons game?
It was
I
called
love
the
that
Simpsons game.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure.
I say that this game's a little bit more like that than it is like Grand Theft Auto.
All right, so I guess we'll move on to Splinter Cell Blacklist. I'm a big fan of the Splinter Cell series, and it's undeniable that the franchise has undergone a very substantial evolution since its inception. It used to be pretty much the most stealth-oriented franchise in the history of video games. Like, you could compare it to Metal Gear Solid, but Metal Gear Solid was the one that was like the action-focused one, and Splinter Cell was basically if you got seen, you were pretty much fucked. It has since shed that skin, and now it's more about a little more geared towards action. At least it was with Splinter Cell Conviction, and with Blacklist, I feel like the game has done a very good job at bringing the series back to its stealth roots, but at the same time not ignoring a lot of the really cool additions that were in Conviction. So it is still very much action oriented, but if you wanted to, you could still play the stealth route and have a great time doing it, which is what I ended up doing for my walkthrough. I made a point to do stealth as much as possible, and it was pretty much to my detriment because I spent a lot more time on that walkthrough than I probably needed to, because I would get spotted, I would restart, and then when I was editing, I would have to find the part where I got spotted, edit it out, and it was a big pain in the ass.
Had you thought about not getting spotted and just going through the level without failing? Because that's what I would have done. Get that face off the screen, Mitch.
I'm gonna get this one now. That's just...
You're so smug.
Yeah, I wish I could put faces onto you, because you're a fucking troll. But yeah, no, I really, really liked Blacklist. At the same time, I really, really liked Conviction. I'm one of the few, I think, who really, really thought that Splinter Cell Conviction was a fantastic game, and I loved everything that they did with it. But I love Blacklist for another reason. I love it. I love that it saw that its hardcore fans saw some problems with Conviction, and they went back and they tried to, make it more accessible to their hardcore audience, while still implementing the same new things that invigorated the Splinter Cell franchise with Splinter Cell Conviction. And I'm only talking about the single player. I haven't even touched multiplayer. There's also the Spies vs. Mercs co-op. There's the Spies vs. Mercs multiplayer competitive.
And how many multiplayer is it? Is it 8 players, or is it 2 players? Because I wanted to check that out.
Spies vs. Mercs is... The classic mode is 2-on-2, I believe.
2-on-2. Yeah, I figured you can't have a multiple amount of people, or it's just going to turn into a wild deathmatch like any other game where you're just running and gunning. But this is supposed to be, and that's what I'm wondering, is can you have that stealth aspect in the multiplayer game?
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever played Spies and Mercs?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so basically what it is that you have one team as the spies, and they have a third-person perspective, and the second team is the mercs, and they have a first-person perspective. The mercs are kind of like tanks. They're really hard to take down. They have a lot of firepower, but they're slow. They're limited only to cone vision, and they're not very maneuverable. They can't interact with the environment the same way that the spies can. The spies, on the other hand, They have all the abilities pretty much that Sam Fisher has in the Splinter Cell single player game. So they can climb up objects, they can hang off of pipes, they can really maneuver around the environment. It's a good balance of the spies kind of being this sneaky, shadow in the dark that needs to hide and wait for the mercenaries to make a mistake and then drop down on them. And the mercs, basically, if they see you, you're dead. But yeah, it's really cool, James. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend checking out one of the older
I'm going to.
games.
But Mitch, I have to wrap it up.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
And secondly, I do want to throw out a special thank you to Jared, who came out and saw me in Odessa, Texas. It was a fun time. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
But I just wanted to say thank you for coming out. I know it was a long drive, and I was glad you were there.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up then. Thank you for watching the GameFront update. Let us know what you think about this format, and we'll see if we're going to stick to it.
Cool. And thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like,
comment,
and subscribe.
subscribe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.